Get this straight, Shane. These bags are just for the two Happy Pears.
This week's delivery. They were roasted last week.
Wow.
So that's 20 kilos for Shoreline and 45 for Church Road.
That is a fucking monster. Holy mackerel.
And then
That's Rhonda.
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 I think well, I had a car in the States. We call it Bridget, just as a brace yourself, Bridget, because it wasn't a great car. Just you had to do all sorts of. But Rhonda, why Rhonda?
after the UFC
Help
fight.
me, Rhonda.
We learned at a place called Baobab in Selvage. Obviously, we practiced on a smaller version of that.
Right.
And theirs was called Beatrice. So,
Called what?
Beatrice.
Oh, Beatrice.
Beatrice,
Ah, nice.
So,
Right. So this guy, he said, you were telling me earlier, he can, well, obviously he's a bit of a steam engine, like he's gorgeous.
Looks like steam engine.
So for now it's once a week. You come over.
So once a week, every Tuesday, myself and Paul are kind of out of the cafe, and we get to go and play coffee for the day. But so it's pretty intense day. It usually turns out being about a 12-hour day with the two of us down here between
Well, the great thing
testing and packaging.
you've got lots of coffee to keep you awake. that's for sure.
Yeah, but it's enjoyable. You know, it's something we both have a passion for, so it is enjoyable.
And the hope would be that you said that people, you know, once you're basically happy with your roast, which I'm sure you're getting lots of beautiful roast out of it, that people will sort of recognise that as a nice little thing to bring home with them and do their own thing with it.
Exactly, and it'll kind of, we want to really promote people using coffee at home. That's why we sell little small retail bags.
Nice,
So you make the coffee at home in the morning or whatever, and then it just saves you having to go out to a coffee shop and stand in a massive queue for 5 hours.
It's coming, like, people are coming a long way from Maxwell House and all the instant stuff. Like, so you can make really, really good coffee. You can make filter coffee as good as any cafe in the world.
Right.
Easily.
Right. I find out. I mean, I've got
That's
a
what it
great.
looks like before you roast it.
My secret ingredient is Bailey's. That always just
nice.
it pretty much knocks every coffee.
Oh,
Just up at least 5 steps, and then you know.
But like, you know, like, people spend like hundreds on home espresso machines.
Right.
You know, those
Right.
ones are about 400 or 500, and they can't do the same job as one of these. Like, these cost, 7,000-8,000,
Yes.
and
Yes.
your home machine just doesn't do the job. But you can make savage filter coffee.
Savage what coffee?
Filter coffee.
Oh right, right.
This here is called the V60, and it's basically you make 1 cup of coffee from this,
Right.
and it takes about 7 minutes if you're prepared.
So that's
And you get a
the
beautiful
ideal
cup
at
of
home
coffee.
then. You should.
That's the ideal at home,
Right.
You can
Right.
use like French press or
Aeropress.
Aeropress. Some people use it
Mocha
on Mocha Pot. You know the one that's famous in
These
Italy,
all
the-
sound like 50 Shades of Grey references. I'm not sure what's going on here. French press.
Yeah, some people might know that stove top one, the one you put on your ring at home.
Holy mo! Now we're getting now. Hold on. This is a family. This is a family show. Come on, go.
Oh, we haven't even got up to cupping yet.
So yeah, we are cuppers.
We're cuppers.
Like
So we
Oh well then.
Only when the door slams though.
different coffee. So
Wait a minute. What are these? What are these for handcuffing people? What the hell? What's going on here exactly?
Is there a secret there?
So the hope would be that if you're doing it once a week now, I guess I mean that it'll, like everything in this Pearville, is just kind of grow, because that's the idea of it. It's got that.
We can only afford to get out of the cafe because we're both working
Right.
the other days.
Yeah.
So for us to then come for another day, it's staffing Church Road.
Right.
Which
Right.
is kind of, at the moment, we just
don't need to,
feasible. We just don't need
It
to.
does run very smoothly when you're not there, though. Just so you know, I've noticed that it's a very kind of happy, easy-going air. Just so you know, like you know.
So yeah, at the moment we're doing 70, and when we get to 100, that'd be a little mini victory, because that mean we might be able to get some like new toys, new machines, or get someone down to help us
Right.
unpack.
Gadgets
But,
are good.
at the moment,
Yeah.
we're just kind of plugging away, and
I like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
week goes
Turning
so
out
fast. Suddenly it's Monday again, and we were like the night before roasting. We have to go. Geez, we haven't tasted that coffee yet.
But you two must be like Jerry Lewis and Dean Mark when you come out here, or just some sort of like
Yeah. Like we were making a new
the opposite
blend.
to Cheech and Chong.
We
Just
were making a new blend there a while ago, and oh my god, I've been
Why?
so much coffee. It has to be done. Someone has to do it. It was quality.
well,
I don't know if
whatever.
anyone's ever seen.
As Cheech and Chong will tell you, whatever deep thoughts you have in that state, just write them down, because you will forget the next day. Beautiful.
And that's it. Like most of the time we just spend talking about what we're going to do on
Secret ingredients.
Tuesday.
Nice.
That's what they look like before you roast them.
Holy moly. And you're getting them from, I saw the lovely bag, you're getting them from Rwanda. Is that
the Brazil and Colombia we have.
Is it always a kind of, there are certain countries?
Seasonal, yes,
right,
it's all seasonal, so like certain coffees will come into, like certain crops will be available at certain times.
Right.
And Paul gets emailed a list and we go through them and we're like, okay, maybe we'll try this one or we'll try that one. So it's always changing. It's similar to wine, there might be a good year or a good crop.
Right. Well, thanks to the madness of climate change, I'm sure you'll be able to actually have your own beans.
You'll be able to grow in Pear,
and vineyards and all that out here. It'll all work,
Steve has a plan at a farm. So
Deadly.
2 years ago, he was like, someday we're going to roast our own coffee, and we did this. Started this year.
Right.
We went on a course to Scotland,
and now he has this thing because we have farms in Newcastle and everywhere. So he's like, yeah, we're not on farm.
And you remember Jack that used to work with us, Jack Cochran? He actually went over to Nicaragua and was helping on a farm that we got.
Wow. It's actually that one.
So it's
right. Wow.
Peralta Coffees.
Nice.
So he went over and he actually helped on that farm. So it's kind of coffee's kind of all about building relationships and you know, kind of getting to know where your coffee's coming from. It's called direct trade. So people talk about fair trade and stuff, and that's kind of wishy-washy.
Yes.
They do a good job though. They try their best.
Yeah.
With direct trade is cool. It's kind of, we use a company in England called Falcon.
Okay.
And they source our coffee for us. And we kind of work through them, but eventually we would love to be able to go to source, visit the farms, visit the washing stations, and bring the coffee back. So that's kind of that's the bigger goal for the roasting.
Well, you need to get a Panama hat for that though. I think you turn into a certain kind of, and you should be wearing a kind of a white, those tweed jackets or not the tweed, Just so you know, just so you're ready, because that is rock and roll. Well, that's brilliant.
That English company that we get our beans from, they are our direct traders. Like they're over there at Origin. They have people on the ground working with the farmers, and they even like that Rwandan one. They are half owners of that company. That's their sister company. So they set up a factory where all the little tiny farmers can send their coffee to be processed. Like they supply them with funds and help with the actual farming and picking and that kind of thing. So they work with the farmers to improve the quality all the time.
So to finish now, you're going to take my Bailey's idea on board though, aren't you? I think that machine. But I'm just saying, like the actual roast though, could you throw the Baileys into the roast? It would save an awful lot.
We can maybe do it in the evening restaurant.
Boom! That'll do me.